Well, it is a beautiful day, and we are grateful to God for the gift of life and the privilege, of course, to witness another new day. I am delighted to be your host. I am Promise Injoko Adibe, and I sincerely thank you for choosing to begin your day with us. Well, I'm not alone. With me are my co-anchors. Fortunately, it used to be blessed are you amongst women. Today is blessed I am amongst men. Okay, let me start from my far left.
Yeah, good morning, viewers. I am Somto Chikulekizo, and it's lovely to be with you this morning. Thank you for me.
Thank you, Somto. And let me hear from the
All
man
right.
in the middle.
All right. Good morning, viewers. I'm Femi Ogundare. It's a privilege to be with us this morning.
Father Femi, thank you.
And Somto.
Thank you so
Been a
much.
long time.
Thank you so much.
Somto, welcome back.
Thank
We've
you.
missed you.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, we have an informative and engaging lineup for you this morning. So stay with us as we bring you the latest newspaper headlines, a part of Anglicanism, and our discussion segment where we shall examine some of the major stories making headlines across the country. Among issues we shall be discussing are the release of the Ekiti CAC church worshippers after spending months in the custody of bandits. We shall also look at the controversies surrounding the alleged fake government agencies. Of course, I want to hear what Femi has to say about that. As its Director General Adeni claims the crisis began after he allegedly refused a request by the Chief of Staff to pay 12.5 billion naira. Somto is already panicking. Somto, don't panic, don't worry. Viewers, we shall examine these allegations. We shall examine the government's positions and what the development means for public trust and accountability. And we shall also look at the advice by Pastor Funke Adejumo, urging married men not to exhaust themselves trying to please women, and what healthy expectations in marriage should truly look like. Femi, I know you want to talk about this one. And then some too. You've always talked about men, women, so I know you want to chip in on this. We're also going to look at the Delta man who allegedly staged his own kidnap in an attempt to extort 25 million naira from his family. And of course, many other stories are making rounds. The federal government securing $11.4 billion in World Bank loans over the last 3 years, and then Nigerians warning to South Africa over the reported killings of Nigerians. Okay, we also look at the calls that reforms, the calls for reforms of the NYSC scheme, and how it could help address youth unemployment. Of course, this is a comment from one of the APC chieftain. And then we also look at the trending video of a counselor claiming to earn 2.5 million naira monthly. So don't look at me, I'm not the counselor. Well, this claim has generated mixed reactions on social media, among others. So, viewers will always encourage you to listen with an open mind and share your thoughts respectfully. After our discussions, we'll bring you a message for the day, followed by the weather forecast, and of course, we'll conclude today's program with a message from the Bible rendered in Nigerian Pidgin English. So, sit back, relax, and let's begin with today's newspaper headlines after this short break. Please stay with us. Okay, viewers, welcome back. Let's take a look at what the newspapers today have for us. Let's start with Somto. Somto, which of the newspapers are you having with you? Let's hear what
Yeah,
it
with
has to
me
say.
this morning it's the Daily Global, and then we have a story, the picture story. The picture story here on the Daily Global, which says the federal government denies spending 8 trillion naira outside budget
Hmm.
and says IMF reports misinterpreted. And then below that we have some other stories that talks about, one says neutralization of armed bandits and recovery of AK-47 rifle with ammunition in Wamako local government area. And beside that, we have a story that says the IGP, Inspector General of Police, Disu, visits Enugu and reaffirms commitment to science-driven policing and charges officers on professionalism. Then we have a story that says Tinubu commissions 10.5 kilometer Kasana access roads to boost Abuja housing development. And lastly, the story we have to take says Dangote is meant deeping sustainability and drives target 20% emissions cut. And increases its capacity by 80 MTPA by 2030. That's all I have with me on the Daily Global this
All
morning.
right. Now to the Guardian newspaper, we have starting with the masthead, we have U.S. pledges close scrutiny on 2027 polls amid CPC designation. That's on page 3 of the Guardian. We have 8.8 trillion naira of budget. Atiku Urewa seek probes as Obi demands Tinubu's resignation. That also on page 3 of the Guardian. We have reports alleging 500 billion offer to split South-South votes. Force. And of course, he said it's baseless. That's also on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Sometimes they give you 500 billion to split votes against the incumbent president. But you collect it 500 billion.
Naira.
Billion.
Naira.
Naira. Yes.
500 billion.
Yes. Billion.
Somto, don't implicate yourself
Off camera.
off camera.
Okay.
Honorable, off your mic. We'll talk
Off the
later.
camera, and I will boldly tell you, no, I will not do it.
Now to the major story, we have US IPO drive test Nigerian fintech governance compliance strength. Now that's on page 6 of the Guardian. Let's look at below the picture story. We have PFIPC presidential foreign I think that's intervention promotion council month pressure month for independent probe answers. This is Bajagate as the chief of staff to the president and the alleged creation of a fake directorate and how this man was appointed, and I hope we will discuss it actually.
Of course, we'll definitely.
And that's on page 6 of the Guardian. We have the Chief of Defense Staff. We have assures ongoing operation to rescue Oyo adoptees after many months. That on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. We have let fuel price reflect present market realities. That on page 16 of the Guardian. We have Rep urges suspension of NYSC reforms for wider consultation, because the way they are trying to do this with the speed of light, I don't understand.
It looks as if that's our major problem in this country.
Let us leave it for wider consultation. That's on page 8 of the Guardian newspaper. We have the kickers as the bottom line sweepers. Oil major spills 125,000 barrels pollute Niger Delta. That on page 7 of the Guardian. Lawmakers call for calm as fresh Taraba attack claim 3 persons. That also on page 8 of the Guardian. Lastly, we have from this end this morning, federal government condemns killing of 2 Nigerians in South Africa, 1 in Cote d'Ivoire. That's on page 4 of the Guardian.
Okay, quickly let's look at the Vanguard newspaper. You've read out some of the stories there on the headlines, so I wouldn't bother repeating them. I'll just start with above the masthead at page 11 there. Insecurity soaring operational costs, others stall ICT boom. Um, we also have another story there on Oyo school abduction, rescue operation ongoing. This is coming from the chief of army staff, and Governor Lawal has come to say Zamfara won't negotiate with terrorists. That story is on page 15 of the Guardian, Vanguard newspaper. And the big story there on PFIPC controversy, how SGF's office cleared at DME for Canada summit. That story is on page 5, and of course, it's a major story making headlines. We have some kickers there. Troubling pattern of scandals now too frequent. This is coming from Atiku. And PDP have come out to say presidency can't escape accountability over Bajamia Bila's claims. And then another kicker there, Serap asks Akpabio Abbas to explain 1.3 billion naira allocation to fictitious PFIPC. In fact, our National Assembly has a lot to answer with regards to this. Okay, so we also have on page 9, US to closely monitor 2027 polls. Congressman Riley Moore has come out to say that, well, let's pray for peace from now to 2027. Okay, the bottom strip stories there. Femi, you took that one on xenophobia. FG condemns killings of two Nigerians, demand justice, and that's on page 6. I wonder which of the people are going to give justice. The same people who said they are not going to compensate our people who left their things there. It's quite sad. Okay, and still on page 6, NDLEA intercepts Malaysia-bound cocaine, nabs PhD student mastermind. Okay, and on page 8, 2027 polls, parties rush to meet INEX uploading deadline. And I will, of course, encourage you to go through the comic section of Mr. and Mrs. And quickly, let's look at the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper has some other stories here. On the killings of Nigerians, FG warns South Africa, threatens tough action. I don't know when we do actually take us serious, but then that's the story. And then ICPC recovers 5.8 billion naira cash in 6 months. FG secures $11.4 billion World Bank loans in 3 years. That story is on page 45 of the Punch newspaper. And then on page 2, Senate meets Tuesday as fake agency budget roll deepens. Okay, and the big story there on 2027 candidates, Saturday deadline puts parties under pressure. That story is on page 2. The kickers there are parties rush to submit presidential NAS nominees ahead of INEX Saturday deadline. Another kicker there say APC uploads Kwara, Yobe, Imo governors Senate nomination forms. And then the last kicker, PDP submits nomination forms for over 200 candidates. Okay, we see the picture story there of Ekiti State Governor during a visit to the released victims of Edo State, of Ekiti State, I beg your pardon. And then the last, the bottom strip stories, Dangote beats US, ships 757 billion naira jet fuel to Europe. That's a report, and you find that story on page 45 of the Punch newspaper. And on page 4, robbers kill Ondo technician defending family. And on page 8, coming from the Chief of Army Staff, citizens key to winning security war. Well, viewers, that's what we have on our newspapers this morning. Want to encourage you to please go through it, get yourself abreast with the happenings in the country so that you're not left out because a whole lot have been going on in this country, and you don't want to be told the story. But then let's quickly take a look at some of the stories making head rounds in today's media house. I have some drafted out here. Femi, let's look at Saturday deadline. Parties are under pressure, to upload and all of that. um are we really ready for 2027 elections? Are we ready? Because the whole pressure is looking like a fire brigade approach from 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. We have 3 years to prepare. Why is it looking like we're not ready? There's a deadline and the parties are rushing to meet up, and I'm sure there are going to be a lot of mistakes, a lot of glitches, and all of that. What do you see playing out?
All right. Coming to make my own contribution on this issue, I'll first of all take a back seat and think of why our party is under pressure.
Mm.
You know, to be very frank with you, some parties they are still in court today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Not sure, maybe they will be part of the coming election. And so some of them are trying to see if they will win their court case. Since they have court case, they have a lot of things to settle. They are not expecting high neck to put any deadline or to come up with any deadline. Not as if they are not prepared, I want to believe. But because of the court case,
Yeah.
court case can put them off because they are scared. Look at what they came up with against NDC. That because of their logo is having some issues. Look at ADC.
Even PDP have 2 fractions waiting for Supreme
So
Court
now,
to give
is it the same
judgment.
party that have not been able to put their house in order or have not been able to come out with something definite concerning the court cases that will now have this boldness? Okay, I want to ask you, which of the PDP will upload their...
That's a big question.
You understand? INEC should come to a term with these people and make sure that the court clear them first before you are coming to ask them to upload or put in a timeline on. You understand? So you can't be in court now. Your own faction and my own faction. Which is the genuine one? Is it the Wiki faction or the Shekarao faction?
That's a big problem.
Or NDC that is having problem. Okay, just few days ago they have been cleared. NDC, but NDC still have a problem.
I think the judiciary needs to also step in and pass judgments as early as possible. So let me get your take or with regards to
Yeah,
this.
just like he has rightly said. INEC initially announced that they had not yet issued out the access portals to this uploading of names, and eventually when it was done, just he mentioned parties disputes, parties fights, some still have some legal cases to make, and also the NDC just made it known to us that aside when it was made available for them to be able to upload the names, they had not yet received portal access amid the ongoing legal disputes. I think access was given to them, and then eventually it was revoked when the court issues came on board. But that as at now, that they are now filing in the names of their candidates and also including the presidential candidate. So when you look at this, you're going to see that there have been tension in the political space since the beginning of the year. Parties have been under legal in short, as at this time there is no party that we can beat our chest to say it's free of any legal court case. The Labour Party has 2 factions, the PDP has 2 factions, the NDC, though they don't have any faction.
Yes, is the
Yes,
logo.
but yes,
Yeah.
is the logo. So you see that, and the moment a particular party has illegal disputes, INEC revokes the access portal given to them until the ground is settled. So now INEC is issuing a deadline. I strongly believe that an extension should be given, considering the fact that it's been tensed, and you don't really know what will come up tomorrow. Even those that have been given the access portal right now can still be revoked in the dying minute. So at the end of the day, I hope this is not used as a means to probably disqualify some parties from filing in their candidates before the deadline elapses.
Nice analysis, Somto. And I'm sure you're the one who read that story on federal government spending 8 trillion naira outside budget. Says IMF report misrepresented. You read it from the newspaper headlines. I don't understand what is it with government, especially this government, with and accountability. What exactly? 8 trillion naira. Some to we're not talking of million, we're not talking of billion. It is a T. Trillion. Let me get your take. Well, they said they didn't spend. That IMF report was.
I thought when a budget is being submitted, it encompasses whatever it is the administration intends to run for that particular year, and then it is approved by the Senate. So the question is, who approved the extrajudicial spending that the administration ran into? Because we are talking about 8 trillion naira. How much is the total budget for the year that you are spending? And it's if you want to check it, if how much is the total budget of the year, and then you are spending 8 trillion naira. Okay, on what exactly? Because what is written in the budget, a lot of in past, a lot of ministries and departments have actually complained of receiving under what has been budgeted. The Ministry of, I think, Health complained of such thing. Education also the same thing. Whatever it is that was budgeted for them was not even what was. You see, they don't even get up to half of what was requested for in the budget. So you now ask yourself, this 8 trillion naira, what was it now spent on? It's just going to point your attention to the extra lavish lifestyle that our administrations are embarking on. Purchases of cars, renovations of houses, a lot of spendings that
Haircuts,
probably
nails,
allowances,
makeup,
you
kitchen allowances,
you understand
cockroaches allowances
you
is
understand.
disrespectful.
I feel so this extra spending went on things that was actually not to any human benefits. I mean the citizens, but to individuals, people that are into offices. They just I really the first question should be, who approved of this extra spending? Since it was not written in the budget, where exactly is it going? Even if there should be an a way out of the initial budget of the nation, it shouldn't be hitting the amount of 8 trillion naira. We're not talking about billions. We're talking about trillion naira and eight. So it's and now the federal government is coming to debunk it and say it is not true, that the report was misinterpreted, which is the thing this administration knows well to do, to always come to deny and debunk whatever it is that has been said.
Somto, nicely put there. Femi, let me come to you. When Somto was talking, you were smiling. ICPC recovers 5.8 billion naira cash in 6 months. That story, I read it on the Punch newspaper. Now, this 5.8 billion shows that, oh, there's money in the country, right? But then we keep borrowing, and we keep borrowing. And right now, there is an allegation that the federal government spent 8 trillion naira. Femi, what's your take?
All right. I'll start from where some to stop by saying that 8.8 trillion, so 8.8 trillion, an article Baka, the presidential candidate of ADC, and of course Peter Obi, they made their own comment on that. So people of that status cannot go for what is called rumor, and of course IMF cannot just come out and make statements that will destroy the integrity of a whole sovereign nation, right? It's not possible. In contrast to what the Minister of Finance
Finance, yeah.
came out and said it's a misinterpretation, it's false, it's baseless. I want to say, constitutionally, every government have the right to go for supplementary budget.
Yeah.
Constitutionally. So that means if you budget you've passed for that year,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not enough. You can go again to the same uh, house. I
To
mean,
some-
both Senate and Rep,
Yeah.
to go and ask them to give you an supplementary.
Yeah.
That what you are doing now has overshoot
Exceeded,
what you
yeah.
thought. So it's constitutional. So I don't think any government that has integrity will now spend half the budget without contacting,
The right,
the right people.
or the going through the right means.
Or going to the right means.
Meaning, that answers Somto's question.
So you understand?
Someone approved it.
So you understand? Somebody approved it. That is not 1 billion. That's not 2 billion. That is
Talking of
8
trillion.
8 trillion naira. You know, as we go on in this discussion, you will see a lot of loopholes in the current government, and of course, you will see a lot of complacency and this carelessness on the part of the government, because somebody will just come and say the president said you should sign this. Nobody cares to vet. They sign.
With the rubber stamp,
You understand?
Senate.
And look at Akpabio goes everywhere, cracking joke like a comedian. You know, understand? A president of the Senate goes everywhere.
Have you ever seen the Senate debunk whatever it is that were sent by the presidency for approval?
They never rejected
They
it.
never rejected
And
anything.
he said this, that he will never in his
They have
life
never rejected.
fight the executive.
They
That
have
he's
never
not here to
rejected
fight
anything.
any executive. He's here to collaborate with
The
them.
same,
He's there to support them.
yeah.
You
The same
understand?
people that are supposed to checkmate the executive are the same people telling you that they cannot reject what, even if the entire house is voting against it. Have you not seen cases where the entire house voting nay and he says the eye has it? We have seen such on news before.
And he will hit the Gavi.
He will hit the guy, and that is what stands.
Let me quickly speak on the ICPC recovery, the loot recovery. We've been asking questions not under this present government, under the past regimes, that what are these loots used for? We look at it, ICPC, FCC, and among others, coming with, there was a time, under Buhari regime, that the loot that were recovered was over 1 something trillion naira.
And yet we went borrowing.
And we went borrowing.
So
That
what
was
was loot used
that was what led to the sack of Bawa, the former EFCC chairman. That he even looted the loot.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
He looted, you understand? So these things, people, after you recover all these TV shenanigans, they know how to, you take this one, you take this one, you take this one.
So why bring it to the public space if you know you're not going to use it judiciously for the masses? Because it's a trillion naira allegedly spent by the presidency can actually revamp our healthcare system. 5.8 billion naira that has been recovered by ICPC can do something significant in our educational system. We've seen us who try to go for strike. See our education system being a mess.
Just as you were speaking, I just quickly had to go and check something. IMF, well, after the investigation, the International Monetary, they said that it was actually not recorded in the budget of this extra spending, which now talks about the transparency of the government. Their intention was to hide this extra 8.8 trillion naira because IMF is saying it was actually not even recorded in the budget that this was an extra budgeting, an extra funds were spent, and now the federal government is saying that how can they say it was not recorded, that it went through legal means? Meanwhile, IMF is saying the intentions was to hide it from the people. There was no transparency for us to see that something was actually spent on the extra.
So if you allow me to corroborate your analysis, I can say that where the funds were being gotten from, number one, our internally generated funds are being spent anyhow.
How it was being gotten, how it was being spent wasn't recorded.
Number one. Number two, the loans. You wonder why loans have been collected 3 months after 3 months in billions of dollars, and you ask, what are
Yeah,
they?
why truly why do we keep
no
why
transparency
do we
from this
keep
government.
collecting loans when we are recovering loots? Why not recover these loots and then use them, to take care of the country? But we keep taking loans and loans. How are we planning to pay these loans? See how much we used to
And that is why
service
we
our
keep
debts.
servicing debt. And at the end of the day, just the service of debt are also running into trillions in a budget.
Ah. Viewers, what's your take on this conversation this morning? Please feel free to call in. The number to call in is showing on your screen. And if you can't call in, please send us your comments via any of our social media platforms on your screen. We would always want to, read from you and get your feedback. So and Femi, just let's take it easy. Nigeria, I don't know. Then they used to say, "I'm ready to die for Nigeria." I don't know. So are you ready to die for Nigeria?
I'm not dying for Nigeria.
I didn't hear that.
I'm not dying for that. I would rather, if I'm being given an option to die for any country at all, paraventurally, it won't be for Nigeria.
Really?
I'm telling you.
Femi, you're a father now. Are you ready to die for
It
Nigeria?
won't be
That's why
for
you say I'm a
Nigeria.
father.
So
I have responsibility. I can't die for Nigeria.
Can't die for
Let the children of those people who have dead matrimony.
Let them come and
Go
die
and
for
die.
the
let them die for
yes.
Nigeria. All right, let's look at Aisha Buhari's take. She said Buhari's greatest legacy is investment in education. Do you agree with her? Was education better when Buhari was here?
She's defending her late husband.
Yeah.
That
His greatest legacy was
is
investment in education.
education. I would not outrightly agree with her, because there were little informations on what the Buhari-led administration did in terms of education. I would strongly disagree with that statement, because now, okay, what is her aim? What is she trying to achieve? Coming to say that the greatest legacy of her husband was an investment in education. Why did she not move a step further to give instances, to probably give cases?
What he has done.
Yes,
with
what he
regards
did
to
exactly.
education.
How many schools were built during his time? How the teachers, the primary school teachers and the secondary school teachers, how were their fundings? Like how much
Was it
were
not
they
during
paid?
the same
Was it not
Buhari
during the
time
time that
we
we
had
had one of the longest ASU
ASU
strikes?
exactly?
So Abi, in the university section 2 has nothing to do with education. Was it not during his time that schools, universities had their school fees crammed in hundreds of percent? This was
And a
during
lot of
Buhari's
people
time.
dropped
A lot
out
of
of
people had
school.
to drop out of school because they could not afford to pay their tuition fee. It was during his time too that people could not, the salaries were nothing to write home about. Some primary schools were still old salaries. Secondary schools were still old salaries.
And primary
People were
schools even went on strike.
Yes,
in
people
FCT.
were schooling in dilapidated school buildings, even in the Federal Capital Territory here. Not to talk about some that are also in the far north of Nigeria. So why is she saying he invested?
Alright.
How much was he? How much was a budget? How much was education in his budget for the 4 years while he was president?
All right, I want to believe that Aisha Buhari, with all due respect, the former first lady of the country, was beclouded by emotion, right? When she was talking, I want to believe that she thought Nigerians are short memories. I don't know why she would go as far as making that, with all due respect, that careless statement. This Alimanjiri structure of education in the north became dilapidated during the regime of his husband.
Of her husband, yeah. Jonathan brought it up
Rather.
yeah.
Do you know that Jonathan built Almanjiri School? Took all those children off the streets,
yeah.
gave them food for free, education for free. In fact, the school uniform for everything for free. During Buhari, he neglected it, looked away from it. Is it the cost of education during his time? How education became very costly? Increments in institutions,
tuition
in the
fees.
federal universities. You know, I knew how much I paid when I was in final year. I paid my school fee was 16,000 naira. 16,000.
16.
Yes.
Yeah. When I got
as,
admission, my
as,
school fees was
as-
13,000.
I'm serious.
You
But
can
before
get
I
that now.
left,
You
before I
understand?
left, it rose to about 80,000 naira, from 13,000 to 80 something thousand.
Right now, people
Check
are
the
paying.
percentage.
Right now, people are even paying more.
Over
Yeah,
You
100,000
understand?
naira.
people are paying
Is it
more.
the ASU strike, the longest ASU strike? Is it the unreasonable stubbornness he portrayed why
No
he
work, no
was in
pay.
office when he said
No work, no pay. For the
Do you
educational
think we have
system,
short memory as citizens of this country? And you can come out now after the demise of your husband to tell us that education was his legacy. But then I want to believe that that's a paper statement. It's not in reality. Thank you.
Oh, okay. That's so much dishing out our viewers. We want to encourage you to call in. The number to call in is showing on your screen, and if you can't call in, please send us your comments. We want to read them. Well, there's this particular story that's been making rounds. I don't know what to feel about it, because there was this kind of pride I had when I wore that uniform in 2011. There was this kind of pride I had, and I'm talking about the NYSC and the whole reform. The APC chieftain have come to say NYSC reform will help tackle youth unemployment. On this same show, I think that was last week, we played the video of them outlining what the government plans to do, the things the government plans to add to the NYC scheme that will help so don't come this way that will help with make the scheme, make our youths more entrepreneurial, and I don't know how to feel about it. I know some of those skills they added, really it's good, but then let's look at the timing. NYC is just 1 year, and you want to bring in skills that you expect coppers to learn within 1 year, that will fetch them money, that will create employment. What happened to the educational system? Why are these skills not taught? Now, these are my own thoughts. Why are these skills not taught in our universities, in our secondary schools? Do you know, if we start teaching these things way back from school, you don't even have to do that in NYSC. Because right now, they'll tell you, I'm sorry to say, they'll tell you we spent so billion trying to make sure these youths get these skills and all that. Why not add it to the course they
the
study in
skills that
school?
they're already doing, Said, the skills that they're already doing in camp, at the end of the day, of what effect is it to the people after camp or even within camp? See, one of another system in which money is being looted, and being spent anyhow is this NYS. You don't want to know how much people are making through NYS. You don't want to know. You don't want to know what people are making. Left for me. You see this thing called NYSC. They said the main purpose of bringing it is to first see how to unite Nigeria, is it not? But if any day I hold power, NYSC will be the first thing I will scrap out. Because one, there is nothing uniting. Nothing, absolutely nothing
Why would
uniting
you say that?
about the NY. We all served.
Yes.
If we want to be frank, what exactly was there any form of, aside the fun of being in camp, and obviously there was not, it's not so fun, because one, our NYSC centers are nothing to write home about. Where these people stay for the next day, the kind of foods that they eat.
Right now, it's been extended to 6 weeks.
Oh, my own 3 weeks. I was doing, from the day I stepped my foot into that camp, it was countdown to the day that I will leave. The last day that we did our personal parade was the happiest day of my life throughout my NYSC. I served in Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom camp is nothing to write home about. Where we receive our lectures, once it starts raining, you'll be drenched, because it's like an open field that just has a zinc above it. I don't know if they have probably done some, because they said that they were going to build a hall where it's, but you come out as early as 5 o'clock for morning devotion with cold, because it is just a zinc over your head. The toilets are nothing to write home about. The rooms are nothing to write home about. If it rains, you will literally have to pull off your shoes to walk on mud, because if you go in with your shoes, you'll be stuck. The foods are nothing to write home about. So what exactly united? Is it because they do a macho man, Mr. NYC and Mr. NYC, that unites people? It is not it. I don't think NYC is even primarily serving its function of uniting people. Secondly, most people serve in NYC in institutions with the hope that after service they might get retained in
Some
such
actually do
institution.
get retained.
How much of a percentage? How much of a percentage? Is it up to 5% as against 100? How much of a percentage do get retained? Even people that serve in ministries don't even get retained in such ministries. If at all, private institutions will not retain you. At least government institutions, state institutions should be able to retain people that serve there. You go, the khaki is nothing to write home about. Khakis are one of the things that are expected to be very strong. But wear your khaki and try to climb a bike, there and there, it will tear. The shoes are nothing to write home about. You wear your shoe, it will pull off. Nothing. The shirt, my NYC shirt, after I wear it the first day, the next time I washed it, it kept jumping. It kept jumping.
Your crested vest.
Yes, my crested vest. It kept jumping until it came above my belly button. It became a crop top. If you must wear it, you will have to draw it. And the funny thing is, if you draw the front, the back will now go up.
Oh my goodness. So you're talking with so much pain.
I'm
you
angry.
really, you really didn't have. You didn't
I'm
have.
angry.
But
Is it now the white shirts they give you? You draw the front like this, the back will go up. I had boys in my camps that were putting on crop top and they were proud wearing it. It will go above their belly button. And this is an institution that have a budget. People are looting funds. Have you seen NYSC's meat before? Have you seen their butter? If they give you bread and butter, it's like their finger. They use it and they drop it on the nylon of the bread. They feed you like you're in an IDP camp. And now you're telling us you are about to add in more skills as against the Saids that they're already doing in the. At the end of the day, people do those Said, they come out and nothing. They don't have. Few people, yes, can testify that this passion sprung up from there. But compared to a majority,
it's actually a good thing that you pointed out that few people. So I don't look as if
nobody's
nobody
getting. You pause people's life for 1 hour. You make it compulsory, and most people, trust me, if NYSC becomes optional, if peradventure NYSC becomes optional, I bet you that over 70% as against 100, if not 80, that goes to serve, we don't want to serve because the uniform no longer has pride.
I don't know when you served. I know when I served in 2011, I won mine with pride.
Right now, there is no pride.
I won mine with pride.
There is
no
pride. You will be trekking. Nice. The army cannot even give you a lift. The police can't give you a lift.
As a federal government child.
Who will be federal government child? They will beat you on top.
Okay, let's hear from.
I want to speak at this point. NYSC was founded in May 22nd, 1973 by the then General Yakubu Gowon, right? Yeah. With the purpose of uniting the youths, of course, across board. South, East, the 7 geopolitical zone, right? And the purpose was met then. But, when there is any policy by the government, let's not be quick to destroy it that is not working. It's working. It's worked. In fact, there was a time in this country that if you enter a vehicle and you're a copper, you are not. You understand?
You enjoy some privileges.
Yes.
Can I tell you for a fact that 2016, you can fact check me. Airpiece. When you're a copper, you will be given a rebate to fly airpiece.
Not just airpiece. In Silverbird, I know I made it a duty. Every Wednesday, I go to watch movies. As a copper, you just show your ID card.
No. I want to talk. Just
I'm trying to concur with what
you can't because of the dilapidated condition or the impunity around our governance and say NYC is not working. NYC worked. And another thing that has caused the retrogression in NYSC is the insecurity. Normally, Femi Ogundaye should not be posted around Southwest.
Yeah, you should go to the north or the east. Yeah.
So that I can experience that 1 year, your culture. In Anglican Communion, we are doing something like that. They call it acculturation. In your 300 level in seminary school, you'll be made to go to Abeokuta to go and learn. If you are Yoruba, you will learn Hausa, you will learn Igbo. And after that, they will post you 6 months. Although it has been cancelled now. 6 months if you are from the west, 6 months to the east or the north to go and learn their culture. It worked. Our church fathers also saw that vision. The same way General Gowon saw the vision. But because of the impunity around it, and one of the things that the insecurity in our country has further contributed to the problem of NYSC today. That's number one. Number two, this issue of accusation, we have what we call skill acquisition and entrepreneurship development. Said in NYSC. You are made to go through it 1 hour every day. But then I want to say to the government, the president can mandate the incumbent minister of education to review this what is it called, our syllabus in the universities and make entrepreneur mandatory.
Agreed.
You cannot talk to a man who has spent 6 years, maybe medical student, 5 years, law student, engineering student, all the normal courses, which is 4 years. They have been formed already. It is not NYSC that will form 1 year. Right? A man who has graduated has been formed already. So if you do that for them in the course of 5 years course or 4 years course, coming to NYSC now to come and do 1 year, the interest is there already. You understand? Because what they want to do now is that camp will now be 6 weeks, while NYSC will be 2 years. Yes.
So you know where I agree with Femi is, let even these courses, this entrepreneurship thing start from the secondary school if possible.
But did you do any entrepreneurship course in university?
What I'm saying is, let it be, it could be optional. Let it exactly. Let it
the way
be
we have math and English as very important.
Let it be a
very
course.
Do you realize that it is not even the university or this NYC that actually springs up interest of having a skill in people? A lot of us, a lot of the youths right now, even while in secondary school, even while it is not being taught in school, they already have a skill.
True.
When you have the passion for something, your parents already have the means to say. So it is not even when it is now being sent into the university system, because the thing is, even in our university system, for example, I did a course in my 300 level that is called CED. It is called Center for Entrepreneurship Development. Do you know that the skill I pursued in that CED was a skill that I already had? Because I already had an interest in it before I came into school. And for some of us, when it is even being taught or when you are even being brought up in it in the university, when you come out of it, most times you don't even have the ground, the enabling environment to practice such skills.
Okay, so Femi, can you quickly round up
your
this?
interest now? The government will come and corroborate it, try to help you. Like, okay, pick any skill of your choice. You pick it. In NYSC, they do something now, maybe, I don't know, maybe you are informed that currently, if you go through that side, you come first or second, they will try to assist you. Yes, I'm coming. They do that as from the part of the government, try to assist you to give you a push, although very small, a little push when you get outside there. And hope you know that currently NYSC run 1 year free medical insurance scheme.
We know of the 1 year.
I just want to tell you that NYSC, it works. Just because there are some people around it who are corrupt and spoiled.
Well,
for me, my own reservation. Everyone is entitled to their own thought. But for me, I would not.
Okay, so the truth is, as much as I understand where Somto is coming from, and I also understand where you're coming from, but let's balance it. Yes, NYC was created to form that bond, that unity.
Yes.
But we find out that to a larger extent, it's actually not achieving, because we find out people trying to work out where to serve. You see somebody who's schooled in Abuja serving in Abuja, yes. Somebody who's schooled in Owerri serving in Owerri. People now pay money, some pay heavily, some who have connections, they do the connections.
In most cases, these people already have something doing, and asking them to leave it for that particular period of time is not sustainable
Okay,
for them.
but then that was actually not why NYSC was made, and I agree with Femi that when NYSC started, really, it's actually
Our fathers enjoyed it.
At
Our
least
mothers
I
enjoyed
discussed.
it.
I had a discussion with some people who said it
did
was,
work.
in fact, they so enjoyed it.
serious.
But then
Some people met their wife, their husband.
Femi has come
Okay,
there.
how many of your
Femi, was that where you met
in
your
all
wife?
honesty, wait,
Was
wait,
that
wait,
where you
wait,
met your
how many,
wife?
how many of your NYSC friends, in all honesty, do you still keep in touch with?
Yes, I have them.
Oh yes, I keep in touch with.
Yes,
You see,
Francis,
I was
have Valentina,
I was
When was the last time you called Francis?
but I chat them up.
okay, so don't even go there, Somto.
No,
For me, my seat, this year was I was in the Marshall
you
band.
still have your group.
We have
You
our
still-
group.
Yeah, I understand.
One
Once
band,
in a while,
one
yeah.
sound. We don't flop. So
A
the
friend
thing
of mine
is,
served in this AGGS.
the thing is,
Privilege of AGGS. Got married there.
oh my goodness, that's so
Currently here
good.
in Abuja.
That's so good. In
How
case you
about-
don't know what AGGS means.
These are our corrupt leaders.
In case you don't know what AGGS means Anglican Girls Grammar School. We have it here in Abuja, where you can enroll your girl child, and
The
believe
funny
me, she will
thing is
get
that
the best
I
of
also still
education.
served in that same
You
AGGS.
served in AGGS. I hope you found a
But I
wife
didn't
there.
find a wife.
Well, the truth is, we encourage the federal government to please do the right thing. Femi raised a very important issue. He said the impunity is what's making it look like
It's not
NYC is
working.
dying. Please
Yeah.
take away impunity, take away corruption. You see the beauty of NYC. And yes, I agree with Dr. Nwachukwu last week when he said a civilian should not head the NYSC. Let's leave it for the military to
Did
continue.
you talk
handling
about the
it.
Adire that
Yeah,
you want?
yeah, exactly. So that's where I was going to. A civilian should not head the NYSC. Please don't change the uniform. You see that khaki and crested shirt there? They give us joy, better joy. Anyway, I'm not going to serve again ever in my life.
It's time we come that people will put nepotism.
It's already
Adire represent the southwest part of the country.
exactly. Before you know it, the
You
north will
understand?
now come and say, no, you have to use
You
Shedda
understand?
for us because that represents us.
Let's
Then
leave
from
that
the
uniform.
east, we will say Ishagun, so
That's the
or
truth.
George. So we start having
Leave their
problems.
uniform.
So I think they should leave the uniform that way. But it's also a good thing that they're listening. It's now going to come for public discourse. I think if they can listen to majority of Nigerians, they will know the
And they should not speed it up.
the country.
They
2
should
years,
allow
2 years is a long time.
Well, that's let's leave that for to come to national discourse. Well, for now, viewers, let's take a breather. When we come back, we actually started touching some of the stories, but when we come back, we look at our trending stories, our discussion segment for the day. And there's this video. There's this video of the alleged fake. I don't want to say anything. Let's watch this video. When we come back, we'll talk more on it.
Where Chief of Staff to the President has meritoriously served for good 20 years and rose from minority leader, majority leader, and the speaker for good 4 years. I mean, he rose to be the number 4 citizen of Federal Republic of Nigeria. So the question becomes unaffordable. At what point in the process did reference to non-existent agency allegedly enter the official record? And if that are indeed present in an official documentation, what that implies about the integrity of the process that produced and approved those documents? For President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to assented his signature to a budget that includes a non-existent agency according to his chief of staff is an embarrassment to this advocating government. My distinguished media practitioner, when the question passes regarding administrative process, budget lines, and institutional communication allegedly connected to this agency, if it doesn't exist. The said acclaimed non-existent agency have domiciliary, pounds, and treasury single account, all domiciled in Central Bank of Nigeria. So what Chief of Staff is telling Nigerians is that the CBN governor, with his 4 deputies, 16 capable directors, and over 5,300 staff are clueless not to have dictated a fraudulent document for opening an account.
Well, viewers, we know it's been on the media space, where the the DG Adeniyi came out to said the crisis between him and the chief of staff to the president started when the president the chief of staff requested for about 12.5 billion naira, and he rejected that. That was when the whole crisis started. Well, then, but the big question now remains: what exactly happened? How was that? Let me come to you, Femi. I'm asking some questions here. We're looking at a government owned. Okay, the government said that is a fake agency, right? Now, we also had SGF's office clearing him for Canada Summit, clearing that office for Canada Summit. We've had that office receiving allocation in our budgets. We've had this same man hosting foreigners, hosting government officials, and all of that. They have an office in the secretariat. So my question is, what do you see playing out? Because he is making an allegation that the crisis started when he refused Gbajabiamila's 12.5 billion naira demand.
All right, sir.
And the president is coming out to say, no, that agency is fake.
All right. Prince Adeniyi Adeyemi Matthew came up, I think, or came out some few weeks ago to tell us that he gave the incumbent chief of the
Chief of staff.
to the president, Gbajabiamila, he gave him the money for some of 600 million naira for him to give him an appointment as director of an agency. But then he gave him upfront of 400 million naira. And when that was not coming forth, he resorted to creating an agency for him. And it was not created just it's not a backdoor creation. Number one, they wrote letter to the SSG and allocation was made that office should be given to him at the secretariat, not a new building that was erected. They did not go outside to go and
Not a rented apartment.
rent an apartment and painted it to be a government-owned building. It was the secretariat under the walls of the head of service. Of course, the SGF himself wrote a letter to that effect. They gave him a space, and the last stroke that broke the camel's back was that the budget of that agency was inside our
National
budget.
Oh, yes.
Signed by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. This man was given budget. Not only that, there was a summit he organized. EFCC chairman was present.
The pictures were...
SGF himself was present. The chief of staff to the president himself was present. In fact, we have a lot of, we have barrage of foreign visitors present in that summit. And now, this man came out and said there's a problem. That the chief of staff to the president has made a request of 12.5 billion naira from him, which is not able to meet up with the demand.
That's
and
like 48% of his budget. Yeah?
And the man said he is going to be entitled to 48% of the budget of that agency. And the agency is responsible for foreign policies, representing the presidency in foreign policies, meeting foreign investors and the likes. But now the man is saying that Bajabiamila threatened to deal with him. Few days later, Bajabiamila came out, wrote to EFCC that there is one man parading himself to be a director general. It was Bajabiamila that came out. He wrote officially to AFCC, wrote to ICPC, in fact, wrote to NSA, Ribadu, that the man should be arrested. The man was arrested, then released.
And then he started singing.
And the man came out and said, there's a problem here. Nigerians, you are not asking questions. Can I walk up to secretariat to ask for office without a proper backup? Can I go and put our own budget into the national budget? Nigerians, why can't you ask questions? These are the questions Nigerians should ask. This is a time for Nigerians to use their head, not emotions. And I want to ask that the federal government, by a way of integrity, let them employ the service of an independent investigator to probe into this. Let no any government investigator be involved. EFCC, ICPC, please let them not be involved. Let there be independent investigator so that you can prove the part of integrity that this supposed government represents. And in a sane country, the chief of staff to the president should have resigned.
Oh, yes, from the
So that
first
there
day,
will be a comprehensive investigation.
Mm.
And again, do you know that something happened that today I am still wondering? This man said the agency is having account with CBN.
Oh, yes.
They have
Oh,
dollar
yes.
account, they have pounds account, they have naira account with Central Bank of Nigeria. I want to ask, can I wake up today and call the
CBN
governor who has 5 directors? This man named them. He has 5 deputies, sorry. They have directors, I think around 16 directors, and the one governor. And I will tell CBN governor that I want to open an account. You understand? Is it possible to open an account with CBN? You will need a letter from the presidency. He got that letter, gave it to Cardozo, Yemi Cardozo, who is the incumbent governor of the CBN, and he was permitted to open 3 different accounts. He opened dollar account, pounds account, and of course, he opened naira account, and budget was allocated to him. Are you now saying that this man is an impostor? Lastly, because of time, the media advisor to the president, senior media advisor to the president, that Bayo Ononuga came out and said, this man is an impostor, is fake, is this. But do you know that this morning, the Accountant General of the Federation has come out to deny the fact that this man does not have account with CBN. After he has produced all the documents backing the accounts, I want to say that are these documents fake? Who signed these documents? We saw the signature of the SGF, of the city of that. We saw that of Yemi Cardozo. What is happening in this country? And I want to say, if this current case is proven to be true, that means Nigeria is a banana republic.
He ended it. I don't know how to say. Somto, what's your take briefly on accountability and transparency with regards to our Nigerian government? Look at what's happening.
It's evident that there is no accountability under this administration. Not just under this administration, but previous administrations also. I read what word will I use now? I read a report from someone in regards to this, and it is not as though in its entirety it is fake. The question is the legal status of the person. That is what this is all about, the legal status. Because I read something that this particular organization, which happens to be under the office of the presidency, was actually created by the then Mohammed Buhari. So when Tinubu came, Tinubu also created some some departments, some agencies rather under his district. But those ones, you can't keep entire track and entirety of all agencies. So that particular agency was left idle. And that was what allegedly the deal was now struck. Okay, there is this agency that is left idle that this administration is not aware. It was created by the then President Buhari. Fund me some of these things, and then I would look for a way to insert your name inside of it. And that is where all of this. So now I believe there's a breach of agreement, and that is why he's trying to knock him off. But that administration, I learned that it has been in existence from the previous
So whether
administration.
in existence or not, we're looking at the government, our federal government, coming to say it's fake. And then we are now looking at this same agency having a budget.
It's clear that you cannot say it is fake.
Budget.
Just as,
so
just as
that's
he
what
has,
I'm saying.
right,
Is the federal government calling Nigerians fools?
It is. We talked about this in the
Because
told us
it
before.
cannot
Monkey ate
it cannot
money.
have
Snake swallowed money. This is not the first time they are saying these things
So
now.
let's
Let's
just
leave it. If monkey has cuttered away with billions and the snake swallowed billions and the rat chased the former president out of his office, what
Oh
can
my
they not say
goodness.
to us? What are we saying?
It's quite sad. It's embarrassing.
Very
I
embarrassing.
feel it's insulting to the intellectuals of Nigerians. This is a slap on our faces, and we demand as Nigerians, it is our right, it is our money. We're talking about taxpayers' money. We demand that the federal government comes to give us a satisfactory answer, and not just giving us, like Femi pointed out, an independent investigator should be involved, and then the chief of staff is actually supposed. I don't know why he's still
In any sane
retained there.
country,
I
but
don't know
Nigeria
why
is
he's
not
still
sane.
retained there. The president should fire him if he's not ready to resign.
Please resign.
If he is not ready to resign, honorably, the president should fire him.
Why will he fire
Because
him?
the more the
And
president
he's
keeps him
pending the
around,
investigation,
the more the president keeps him around, it's a dent on the image of the president himself.
It is only an office that has integrity that will strive to keep the integrity of that office.
Okay, Somto, thank you very much.
The birds of the same feathers, allegedly, the one they flock together.
No, okay, so you have a good point there, but we encourage the president. We demand that he does the right thing. And then let's look at this other video of a seller. Sometimes you're an entrepreneur. Femi, are you an entrepreneur?
Not
You're not. Okay. Sometimes how much on an average do you make from your business in a month?
2.5 million.
No. On a more serious note. Sometimes.
Is it the Akara or the
You
my own
personally, yes.
personal business? In a year or in a month?
In a month.
In a month, I can go without making anything.
You can go without making
Yes,
anything.
ma'am.
Well, viewers, there is a woman who says she makes a profit of approximately 2.5 million naira monthly by selling roasted corn on the road. Let's take a look at the
That's
video,
a rock-
and then when we
that's a
come back, we'll
rock
talk about it. Please just watch.
Per month in a month.
I make like 2.5 million.
2.5 million.
Yes.
Jesus. How much are you making from this business per month in a month?
I make like 2.5 million.
2.5 million.
Yes.
Jesus.
Femi, 2.5 million. You're laughing. Are you sure she wasn't trying to say 25,000 naira?
I want to believe that the woman, she's of age and she knows what she's saying. But then the question Nigerians should be asking who are customers, right?
Exactly.
Because we never can tell who she's selling for. She may be selling for the big wigs in the country. Because our politicians can buy anything for any amount. Let's ask who is she selling
Femi,
for.
no, now let's not look at it that way. Some of us have done these businesses. Yes, some of us have done these businesses.
We have
Yes,
not done it before.
I have.
Oh.
Forget the fact that I'm touched in the studio. I've sold oranges my
Wow.
secondary school years during the long vac. I sold
What's
oranges.
the
I
profit?
sold gradnuts, boiled gradnuts. I sold roasted corn. Yes,
the
go
profit
to
per
Azikiwe
month?
Road. What profits? Sometimes I don't even raise as much as I use to I buy in a in a week. You understand?
This is my personal opinion, and I'm not trying to indict the woman. This is a personal opinion.
So
Is a,
no,
I
no,
let
no,
them.
no, no, no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying
Femi.
that no.
2.5 million.
What I want
She
to
wouldn't
say-
be selling roasted
What I
corn.
want to say now is that maybe number one, the woman made mistake. Maybe she wants to say 25,000 naira, and
Exactly.
she said 2.5 million naira. Or maybe in Nigeria anything can happen. Somebody can be selling roasted corn, and she's selling another thing we don't know. Right?
Now Femi has brought it to another
It is
angle.
possible.
Because and another thing we
It's
should look
possible.
at is that this is a seasonal. You don't sell roasted corn from January to
It's not
December.
possible.
It's seasonal. So is she trying to say for the period of 4-5 months that she makes 2.5 million? Please, what has she invested with the 2.5 million? I'm not trying to say she's lying. She's an adult. Yeah, we have been told that adults don't lie. But then,
Let's probably just
And
take
some
that.
I want to say that this is what she has said now. She does not know the implication. She does not understand.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
the first lady has said that we can sell akara, we can sell.
Did you see the video
now,
of when the
it will-
husband said,
it will,
"Yala
yes,
Akara"?
it will corroborate the fact that you can be a counselor and also be a millionaire in Nigeria.
Tell us.
Oh yeah,
can-
and then this is also opening her. Whether this was a skit or this was real, this
Yeah.
has exposed this woman to kidnappers. If she can be making 2.5 million a month
Hey, Jesus.
and it's in the public space, then kidnappers,
Hey.
God forbid, God forbid, I
Probably
wouldn't want to.
what if she's using the produce to the profit to invest somewhere else?
So that's what I'm saying. Whoever conducted this interview should go further. Let her tell us what she has done with this profit that she has made, even if it is just 4 months in a year, 2.5 million per month. That's 10 million
let's
naira.
let's ask to tell us the meaning of Yala Akara that the president called his first lady.
Who are you asking?
No, no.
Femi, what's the Yala Akara?
Akara seller.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, we didn't call the first lady that.
The husband
The
did.
husband did.
Yes,
we
yes.
didn't call her. Well, I've got a comment here from Adewale Adefison, Professor Dapo Asaju. Well, in ACU, went to certain extent in entrepreneurship. I'm sure this came as a result
okay.
of what we talked about entrepreneurship. So you can actually gain that knowledge from anywhere you are. Well, 2.5 million every month. That's so huge. That's really huge. Let's quickly take a look at the Ekiti State victims that were released. CAC Ekiti State victims that were released after how many months in captivity?
7 days.
Do you think those people will be normal? Femi.
I know we have always said this that our government don't really care about us, and this happened after the governor has won the second time, in office. He prioritizes his ambition more than the citizens of his state, right? And looking at them now, this is 67 days. How many months is that? Right? How many months is that? In the den of the kidnappers, and the governor, although I saw in the picture story that the governor went to the hospital to see them, and maybe now they will foot their bills, and maybe
is that
give them,
enough?
maybe give them 10,000 naira or 50,000 naira, and that will be the.
What
end of
about the mental torture, the psychological torture?
our?
I don't even want to talk about the physical because
They
believe
can't
me,
even walk. Look at them.
Do you know the funny thing about this is I believe this should be a hospital in a very sane country where people cannot walk.
No stretcher.
Please tell me what is the alternative.
No
Is it not a wheelchair,
wheelchair.
or a stretcher? So how can you be bringing such people from the den of kidnappers without appropriate medical care at least?
See that small.
Why can't a
small-
wheelchair be provided for these people to be wheeled into the hospital, or a stretcher made available
see how
to take them into...
malnourished that child
yes.
is. Well,
Like-
it's quite sad. We need to appeal to the governor.
Do
You
you know
also-
why I'm not so much concerned? It's my state. But you'll be surprised how the governor was voted.
We discussed
I was
it.
going
discussed
to
it
make
here.
a statement that how is it that you have people in kidnappers then you said for 63 days,
67 days.
67 days, and then an election went on in that state.
I won. The incumbent governor won.
Let's even forget the fact that he won. Where would you allow such a thing to happen?
In Nigeria.
Only in Nigeria.
Only in Nigeria, where people are in the den of kidnappers, not confirmed dead, and an election
held
in that state, and people came out to vote.
Exactly. So people are actually
and now in the case of Oyo, people have moved on.
Yes.
Oh, and
as
those
sad
school
as it is,
those school children are still in kidnappers'
instructions have been given to the teachers to resume work.
Yes, they've resumed.
And they've resumed. People have moved on. 2 years old, 3 years old,
5 years,
and yet everyone is clamoring for 2027 election. And you tell me I should die for Nigeria, a country that don't even care about me.
May Nigeria not happen to any of us.
Amen.
People will move on.
Yeah.
That's just
very true. Very true. It's just like the desperation has gone overboard. We saw. I thought we were going to take that story, but obviously because of our time, we might not take it on the Delta guy who faked his own kidnap to extort 25 million naira from his family.
Yeah.
And I was asking, is it that the family has the money and then they refuse to support him, or he just wants to stress them, or he just wants to feel like a big boy? That's
now
the height
he knows
of
that he's going to prison.
He should go to prison.
It's not he should.
He should.
Constitutionally, he is
going.
Yes.
But no, you know why I say he should go to prison? This is Nigeria. Anything can happen.
It's true.
Well,
the family might say, "Don't worry, he's our own. Give him to us. We don't mind."
And I pray that the kidnapper will not come and kidnap him again.
Okay, so there's this AA's number one leader that made a confession that said he is a very nice and good person. Yeah. Well, viewers, let's take a look at the video. When we come back, we'll talk more on it.
I am a member of the Supreme Air Confraternity, and I am announced as the leader of the Supremest Air Confraternity. It is so true that I am the leader of the Supremest Air Confraternity. Like where
is your pretend?
Yes.
You are the leader. Where is your
jurisdiction?
Area,
Aba, Areje, Adenike, and up to Eyankori, Gambari. I'm a member since the year 2018 in Lagos at Yanokbaja by my area brothers there. That was when I've been a member of the Supreme Air Confraternity. And I've chosen to be a very good person, sincerely. I was introduced by a area brother, but he's late now, Barry, and his late Blashola. And I have never been in any contribution, or I have not been in the hand of anybody downfall. As I said earlier, I'm a very nice person and a good person. I've never been into any criminal activities. I'm a bona fide student of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology.
Where were you arrested?
Yeah, I was arrested in Ogbomoso, 360. I don't know there because I'm the kind of person that don't used to go out like that. So I was just called and I was like, someone that was very close to me that called me, I should answer his call. So I went there without not knowing that he has been arrested already. So me getting there, I was just confused the way they captured me too. My parents are going to feel very bad about this, but I have no word to say than for them to be sorry. And I'm not doing this to humiliate or make people feel bad or to overpower people. I said earlier that I'm a very nice person and I'm a man of integrity. I'm in 300 level. I studied transport management.
Wow. Somto, what's your take on the video? Because I'm short for words. I'm lost for words. What's your take?
I'm a very nice
He said he's a very nice person.
He's level.
Yeah, he's a man of integrity.
Like a man of integrity. Number one, He rose in the ranks
to become
number one. And here is nice. I went to one of the most notorious institutions in Nigeria, Uniben. When you hear Uniben, you know for witchcraft and you know for cultism. So I am not speaking as one that have not experienced cultism before. I know what it feels like to be in a infested cultist area.
Were you a cultist? It's just a yes or a no. Or you want to direct the question to your chief of staff?
God will never allow me to be a cultist. I'm in the court of Jesus. That is where I am. I don't do, because these things, first of all, they tend to make you feel as though they will offer you protection. This is why this is how they get people into cultism. When you don't know who you are. That's why I thank God that some of us had to find God very early from childhood.
Oh, Femi, I love that.
We could not thank God enough for coming from a very godly home to find God early. Because we found God early to know that there is actually nothing these people can offer that God cannot offer.
Very true.
If you want to talk of protection, we have it A1 from God. If you want to talk of provision, God will bless our parents. So God was all in all. Let's
Oh
Jesus.
Okay,
let's not go there.
No, this is not prayer.
Yes,
this is not prayer.
It's not. So I just want to tell you that him now saying he's a good person at 300 level. So just to give you a mental picture of how early he might have started, because for him to have rose through number one, the rank of number one, it's not mess. He, as the number one leader, gives instruction to his followers. Do you know how many lives that they have ended?
They might have.
Do you know how many ladies they might have caused some mental breakdown due to sexual molestation? Because I know what cultism has never been for the good. In as much as we know that the first cultism was made from good intention, which is the pirates, started by Wole Soyinka, but it evolved to become terrible things. No one joins cultism because they want to sweep the neighborhood or they want to offer security to the neighborhood. No, they are very terrible persons. And now, number one leader, I are seeing you're a very nice person. So how did you rise to become number one? Your niceness gave you number one.
Probably. Femi, do you have anything to say?
My problem is that you can't be a number one of a confrontality and you say you're a nice person. Because
a man of integrity.
I want to say to you that you are now, probably, if you have the president of the Journalists Association in Nigeria, and you say you are a nice person, you have never been presented any show before, you've never interviewed anybody before,
I've never written any stories.
You have never written any story before, you have never, is it possible? To be a number one of a confraternity, you will have killed people. Yeah. I'm serious. That's part of
you grow in
qualification.
Yes.
It qualifies you.
Yes.
They look at how strong you are, how strong-hearted.
Your leadership skill.
You understand? How your skill. And now you are now in the den of the police and you are now telling us you're a nice guy. What is nice about the devil?
Okay, what is nice about the devil? Femi killed it. What is nice about the devil? Viewers, if you've not followed our prayer hour before, please ensure you do that every Thursday at 12 noon. Believe me, you want to see Femi and Somto and other anointed men of God doing it, dishing it out, and it is a live program. So just key in, make it a date. Thursdays, 12 noon. And now, as our time is fast spent, let's look at the message for the day, because life is not always about how fast you move, but about moving in the right direction, because every new day is another opportunity to make impact. Message for the day is what's the posture of your heart, from Evangelist Billy Graham. Let's take a look.
Turn with me to the 22nd chapter of Matthew's Gospel. And I want to speak on the subject, a cure for heart trouble. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? And Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and the great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Think of it. All the law and all the prophets hang on these two commandments. I want to give you the scripture text again so you can memorize it. It's Matthew 22 and 37, 38, 39, and 40. And it's no mistake that Jesus made. He did it deliberately. He listed the heart first. To love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul and all thy strength. You know, here in Syracuse, as you enter the city on I-690, there's a huge billboard announcing that Syracuse is the heart of New York State. And I believe it is. It's the heart of New York State. And President Roosevelt, Franklin Roosevelt, and Eleanor Roosevelt were associated worldwide with Central New York. And Bernard Baruch, who was one of the great philosophers and advisors to 6 presidents and one of the most brilliant Jewish leaders in the country and a friend to me, once was asked by Eleanor Roosevelt, said, if my head says one thing and my heart another, which should I follow? And Bernard Baruch said to Mrs. Roosevelt, follow your heart. You see, your heart is the center of your life. You know, if you think about your heart, your physical heart, it beats 100,000 strokes every 24 hours. It contracts 4,000 times an hour. Our blood weighs about 25 pounds, and all of it passes through the heart every 4 minutes. In Proverbs 23:7, the scripture says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And the heart is used throughout the Bible, considered far more than a bodily organ. It's the seat of our emotions. As boys, I remember we used to write initials on trees or on the side of some barn, our girlfriend's name, and a picture of the heart. Valentine's Day is a day for sweethearts, and the symbol is a heart. When we become frightened or excited, we put our hands over our hearts. It's the center of our emotions. When we salute the flag, like we did the other day at the Rotary Club, when they were saluting the flag or singing the Star Spangled Banner, we put our hands over our hearts. Or saying some of the great patriotic things, we put our hands over our hearts. The heart is also the seat of decisive action. The Bible says the fool hath said, not in his mind, but in his heart, there is no God. And the scripture says in Proverbs 4, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. The heart is the seat of belief as well as the basis of doubt. Christ said, for out of the heart proceed evil thoughts and murders and adulteries and fornications and thefts and false witnesses and blasphemies. But you have something wrong with your heart, and I have something wrong with my heart. Our hearts are diseased by a disease that the Bible calls sin. You see, the heart is also the seat of life. The Bible says your heart will live forever. Think of it. Your body is going to die and go to the grave, but your heart, your soul, your spirit will live forever. 1,000 years from tonight, it'll still be alive.
We just watched the message for the day. What is the posture of your heart? Femi, I don't know if you have anything to say. Just very, very brief.
All right. It's just thank God for the man of God, the late Billy Graham, right?
Yeah.
very renowned evangelist.
Yes.
He spoke about the posture of our heart. It means that if our heart is not correct, our life can never be correct. We have people that you see them and they laugh with you, but the posture of their heart is far from
Terrible.
what they are doing.
Evil.
Terrible. Evil. So it's saying that what God sees when He wants to administer blessing is the posture of your heart, not your look.
Posture of your heart, not your look. And anything briefly?
It reminds me of the cry of David in Psalm 51. Psalm 51, where he says, I think from verse 10 or 7, where he says, create
in me
a clean heart, and renew a right spirit within me. So if David could know what it means to have a clean heart, no wonder the Bible records him as the man
after God's heart.
Glory
to Jesus.
Hallelujah. That's really awesome. Well, viewers, what is the posture of your own heart? Femi made a very vital point. He said, when God wants to bless you, He doesn't look at your face, He doesn't look at your bank account, He doesn't look at your shape, He doesn't look at how good you are. He looks at the posture of your heart. What is the posture of your heart? We'll leave you to ponder on that question as we quickly take the weather forecast for today.
Good day and welcome to ACNN Global Weather Forecast. I'm your weather presenter bringing you the latest weather outlook for Monday, July 6th, 2026. We begin in Africa, where active weather continues across much of West and Central Africa. Widespread thunderstorms and moderate rainfall are expected from the Gulf of Guinea through inland communities. North Africa remains under intense sunshine with very hot daytime temperatures, while East Africa experiences scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms, particularly over elevated terrain. Moving into Europe, warm summer conditions continue across southern Europe, with plenty of sunshine expected around the Mediterranean. Central Europe may experience afternoon thunderstorms, while northern Europe remains cool with cloudy skies and occasional rainfall. Across Asia, the southwest monsoon continues to dominate South and Southeast Asia, producing heavy rain, thunderstorms, and localized flooding in low-lying areas. East Asia remains unsettled with cloudy skies and intermittent rainfall, while Western Asia stays hot and dry. In North America, warm temperatures dominate much of the continent. Scattered thunderstorms are expected across the central and eastern regions, while western areas enjoy mostly dry weather. Across South America, tropical rainfall remains active over the Amazon basin and northern countries, while southern regions continue to experience cooler and more settled conditions. In Australia and Oceania, stable winter weather prevails across much of Australia, although southern coastal areas may experience isolated showers and gusty winds. Now here in Nigeria, the southwest, southeast, south-south and north-central regions will experience widespread rainfall and thunderstorms throughout the afternoon and evening. The northwest will remain partly cloudy with isolated showers, while the northeast continues to experience warmer conditions with only a slight chance of rainfall. That's today's ACNN Global Weather Forecast. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay informed, and have a wonderful Monday.
Our Bible reading for today now from Romans 8:31 go reach the end. This na the message of hope An encouragement when Apostle Paul writes to the Christian church for Rome. Verse 31. Wetin we go talk about all these things? If God dey our side, who go fit dey against us? True, true. If he let them kill him own pikin for our sins, then he go fit give us everything wey we ask from am free of charge. Who go fit accuse person wey God don choose? Na God know who good or bad. Who be the person wey go condemn us? Na Jesus Christ wey die for us, the person wey God raise from dead, and now he dey for God right hand side dey pray for us. Na who go fit separate us from Christ love? Na trouble or oppression, hunger or poverty, wahala or death, or na because clothes no dey to wear? As dem write am, because of una we dey face death from morning go reach night, and we be like sheep wey dem wan kill. Inside all these things, our joy don dey full because Jesus love us. But I dey sure say whether na death or life, angels or wicked powers, things wey dey now or the ones wey dey to come, things wey dey heaven, things for under this earth, or anything wey God create, none of them go fit separate us from God love because of Jesus Christ wey be our Baba God.
Well, may the Lord bless His word in our hearts and guide every step we take today. With the Bible reading in Pidgin English, it has come. We've come to the end of our show. But before we go, any last words for my co-anchor? Somto, any last words? Can we make it brief?
Yeah, just on where we just took our Pidgin Bible from. One verse that struck me say, "Wetin fit separate you from the love of waiting." May the Lord bless His reading in our hearts.
Amen.
Amen.
Femi?
And thank you so much. I think I will allude to what Santo said, that what can separate us from the love of Christ. He mentioned them. Is it trouble, what you're going through now, and you are thinking of quitting? Some of us, any small thing, I will leave church, I will leave God. Please stay with God. To be far from God is to be close to trouble. Thank you.
Just sarcastically, the producer just asked, can 5 billion naira separate you from God?
Nothing.
No.
That's why I said, what can?
What can?
If there is anything that can separate you, it will refer you back to Billy Graham's teaching, your heart.
Yes.
So back to the question Femi asked you earlier, and we said we're going to answer it
Off camera.
Off
He said
camera.
500 million to share votes.
We're talking of 5 billion now.
5 billion.
It has risen to 5 billion. Well, off your mic, Honorable.
No, now what he offered me there was 500 billion. Why are you reducing my money?
Yes.
Oh, your money. You've already sold. Oh my goodness. Well, viewers, thank you very much. This is the size of our package for you this
I did not sell my love for God.
You didn't sell your love for God. Don't mind so. Man, we thank you for staying with us. For those who sent their comments, we truly appreciate you. And to my co-anchors, thank you very much. I'm so blessed being amongst two very wonderful men. Thank you very much. And to those behind the scene who made this happen, thank you for doing what you know how to do best. Well, let's do this same time, same station tomorrow. I am Promise Njoku Adigi. Have a peaceful, a productive, and a richly blessed day. God bless you.